Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, do me a favor, show support to the channel. If you like what we're doing, all I ask is simply click a like. It'll take you 1 second. It'll mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Hopefully I can continue to provide good value for you. So, do you guys remember about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, right? I think it was 3 weeks ago. You guys remember one of the videos right around here, when Microsoft, I think it was maybe one or two videos I did in a row, that Microsoft on the bottom of the range, it looked like sellers were getting tired. Remember we started a video last night, is there a possibility sellers are starting to get tired, right? We talked about in last night's video. And when I was looking at Microsoft about 3 weeks ago, I started looking at a common denominator. Sellers started getting tired at the bottom of the range. Doesn't mean it's a bottom for Microsoft. It just meant from the bottom of the range of that interval. And the biggest clues there were we started seeing numerous channels or numerous candles close greener than the open. So what that basically meant was for every single open for the market, there was a higher close in the open. And eventually, Microsoft got back above the 5-day. Keep that word in mind. Got above the 5-day moving average and put up a really good move. Put up about a $7 candle in the next 24 hours, right? So just keep this in mind. Now let's fast forward, right? Fast forward to kind of where we are today, okay? If you guys remember yesterday, again, all you got to do is go back to last night's video. I started talking about a scenario that there's a potential, right? At least a little bit of clues starting to form that the sellers might be getting a little bit tired. Just the same way we talked about 3 weeks ago, how the buyers were really starting to get tired. You could see stocks didn't go up on good news. Stocks didn't go up on upgrades, so forth and so on. And ultimately, it caused a roundabout top and obviously this really disgusting move to the downside in the next 3 weeks to follow. So we started watching the market yesterday and we started seeing notable headlines coming, especially from the Trump tariffs, right? Tariff news came in negative. The market got slammed and came back up. We saw towards the end of the day, more tariff news. The market got slammed and went right back up today. And today was the third time, right? Today was the third time you started seeing headlines come in. More Trump tariffs, Mexico, Canada potentially delayed. That was obviously a spike back to the upside. But we started seeing the common denominator started playing out over the last 24 hours. And that was the initial bad headlines, right? Or at least negative headlines that would slam the market only a week ago. The buyers were there to absorb it. The buyers were there to take in the liquidity, which is an absolutely good thing. And the one metric that you keep on watching over and over again, well, how does the market close, especially, right? Especially after absorbing negative headlines. So now we have 2 days in a row. Obviously, today's channel is a little bit bigger, but we have 2 days in a row absorbing negative headlines, right? Now we have 2 days in a row of the Qs closing higher than the open, right? The same way that I showed an example of Microsoft 3 weeks ago. And you'll also notice, right? You'll also notice another common denominator here in the last couple of days. If you look at the high from yesterday, the high was 503.74. If you look at today's high, the high was 503.63. So it basically got rejected off the same area today. You see that? It got rejected the same area as it got yesterday. That's the 5-day supply. If we are indeed, again, we don't know. Again, we're only getting ready for the next day. But if this is indeed one of those scenarios that the buyers are truly back into control and the sellers continue to brush off negative news, and we start reclaiming, which in this case is the 5-day moving average, by no means do I want to project the image of this was the bottom, but at least it's a baby step, right? And that's all we could ask for when you're trading both sides of the market, to get as much data as possible. So this is a scenario of a baby step, one step forward, and that's exactly what we have to listen to. After the close, again, and these are more clues, folks. These are more clues of negative news being, well, absorbed. If you look at after the close, you have 3 earnings reports that are, pretty crappy, right? You had Marvel. Again, I didn't dive into the numbers, but you can see Marvel's getting smoked. Avago, right? You can see Avago's getting smoked. MDB, right? MDB is getting smoked. What are the Qs doing? Right? What are the Qs doing? Right? Think about it. What are the Qs doing? Qs are down like 70 cents, folks. That's a good thing. Majority of the semiconductors are not even down after hours. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is flat, right? NVIDIA closed at 117.30. NVIDIA right now is trading 173.20s. Folks, that's a good thing. So you got tariff news that is being engulfed. You have negative headlines that are being engulfed. You have earnings from 3 NASDAQ 100 members that are so far very, very muted in reaction. And the only question is, can the bulls expand tomorrow? Here we go, right? Here we go. Tomorrow, folks, is a very important day, okay? And I don't want to, again, put it into this do or die situation, but keep this in mind. The longer we don't rally off of kind of the data that I just talked about in the last couple of minutes, the higher probability we will go lower. So in the next 24 and 48 hours, the QQQs right down this level, okay? If the QQQs can get above 503.75 on a closing basis, you see all this room to the upside? Folks, you see all this room to the upside? We have room all the way up to 509, 510, and 511. So in the next couple of days, again, I really think we have a 24-hour to 48-hour window that this can happen. If this doesn't happen, the bulls are going to completely lose face. The bears are going to take over. I'm going to start selling off again. So the bulls need, in the next 24 to 48 hours, get above 503.75, close above there. Again, the whole point of the PS60 theory is stocks trade from supply to supply and demand to demand. So here's the supply, 503.75, rejected back-to-back days. If the Qs can get above, then we have a measured potential in the next couple of days to get to this 509, 510 level. And honestly, folks, you don't really, if you trade mega cap technology, again, I'm going to make this video short and sweet. If you trade mega cap technology, you don't need to start looking at obscure symbols. Look at the stocks that got murdered, right? Look at the stocks that got murdered. Remember, in the worst markets, we're still seeing exaggerated moves to the upside. So what are the stocks that got murdered, right? Let's talk about them. Tesla got murdered, right? Tesla's down 100 points from the 50-day moving average. I know, because I've been sell buys from the last 3 weeks, okay? It's been a phenomenal trader, absolutely phenomenal trader, but now it's showing signs, right? It shows signs, and it's kind of mirroring the same thing as the Qs. Folks, if we can get Tesla tomorrow, right? If we could get Tesla to reclaim yesterday's channel, okay? If we could get Tesla to reclaim yesterday's channel, folks, we have like $15, $17 worth of room to the upside. Again, you don't need to get creative, man. I love Tesla. This is my favorite stock. If it can just get above yesterday's channel, that's a very, very big if. But if it can, let's see the buyers come in. We start some really good weekly expiration buyers come in for the 285s, for the 290s. We saw some 300s for next week. But before all that happens, before you can put the cart in front of the horse, Tesla needs to reclaim back the 5-day moving average. Very, very important. Amazon, after getting absolutely smoked, right? Absolutely smoked from the 50-day moving average from 227 all the way down to 197. Today, it stopped right on the 5-day moving average. Same notes as Tesla. If it can get back above the 5-day moving average tomorrow, then you can get a move to 212, 215. We did see some end of the week 215 call buyers coming in. Look at NVIDIA, right? Look at NVIDIA, folks, okay? NVIDIA, again, has gotten smoked. Absolutely smoked. Same common denominator. It's below the 5-day moving average. If NVIDIA can get back above the 5-day moving average, you have room all the way up to this $22 to $25 area. So if you go through the NASDAQ 100 members, again, you don't have to be creative tonight. Guys, look at these symbols. Netflix is just going sideways. right? Netflix just needs to confirm this range here. Look at Meta. Meta today reclaimed back the 50-day moving average and stopped on the 5-day. If Meta can get back above the 5-day moving average, this thing could spike as well. So don't be creative tonight, okay? I think we have a very, very small window for the bulls to make a stand, to have a theory of stocks don't go straight down no matter how bad the market is. But honestly, folks, remember, this is just a game plan, okay? Whether the bulls do it tomorrow or not is a whole different story. And the more important part is the other side. Remember, the macro scheme of things are we're still below the 50-day moving average. I'm conscious that we're below the 50-day moving average. So if we get rejected the third time around, again, and this is the opposite side of the equation. If we get rejected the third time around and we lose today's channel, then all bets are off. We're going right back to the low. So guys, keep it short and sweet. Understand your levels for tomorrow. The bulls have a very, very small window. I'm willing to trade that window to the upside, but the bulls have to perform. Guys, God bless everybody. Let's see where we are. Let's get a good night's rest. Let's wait for our channels to confirm. And let's see. Maybe we can get a very, very pleasant surprise tomorrow. Guys, God bless. Have a good night.